Welcome everyone. Today we will be solving another challenge from the Women Who Code Front-End chapter initiated Front-End Friday Season 2. Today's challenge is this newsletter sign-up form with success message that we are seeing from the frontendmentor.io. All the links will be mentioned in the description below. So to initiate this challenge, first we will have to log in into the Front-End Mentor website, and then we will get navigated to this particular URL where we will get the challenge. So all we need to do is that we need to start the download starter files. I have already downloaded the starter files, and here I have opened it in my IDE, that is Visual Studio Code. So here is the details about the design that we are going to implement in this challenge. And then let's get started. So as per the design, if we see on a broader aspect, we will see that we have two screens over here. This is the first screen where we will be entering the email ID, and then we will, if we click on the subscribe to monthly newsletter, we will get redirect to the second page. That is, thanks for subscribing. Another thing is that here we have the email ID mentioned, that is the one that we will be submitting over here, will also get displayed in the second page. And there is a form validation that we have to do over here. And the form validation says that if we are updating if we are entering an invalid email address or something, there is an empty field over here, and we try to subscribe the newsletter, we should get an error message that says the valid email required. And this email box don't have a red border with a red background. We also have the mobile design over here. In this mobile design also, the same thing is applicable. So this is what we are going to implement. And over here, the font that has been used in this entire design is the Roboto. So this is how I will be using. I will go to the Google Fonts Roboto, and I will be pasting this embed link over here. So let's start. So this is the first one, the index.html page, which will actually show me the first page over here, and then I will have second HTML that will be having the thanks for subscribing details. And over here I will be using local storage to store the data, that is the email address, before navigating to the second page. And this application will be developed entirely on HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So first things first, we can start with the smaller file. That is the one that is only thanks for subscribing with this value. And for this, what I will be doing, I will create another HTML file over here and call it confirm.html. And I will also have a CSS file for the same, which says confirm.confirmstyle.css. So this is the boilerplate code that we have, and I will be pasting all the font details over here. So just for the broader view, I'm keeping it this way. So next, so over here, if we see in the design, in this particular design, what we have is that we have a check mark, we have this thanks for subscribing text, a small message, and a button. So let's start with the mobile first view, and then we will change the media query and incorporate the desktop version. So I will first create a div which says success. And inside this, I will have first the image, the source for which is in our asset folder. And over here, I will be using this icon success. And I will add it a class and check. So we'll first complete the HTML, and then we will start with the CSS part. Now I have this header, And inside the header it says, thanks for subscribing. Next I have the message one. And inside this I will paste the entire content, which says a confirmation email has been sent to the email. So over here, this is the subscriber email, which I will style later, and then this text over here. And at the end, I will be having a button. And in this button, it says dismiss message. So now this is all that we have for the CSS of this second HTML. And over there, we need to have a small JavaScript. We can create it in a separate file, but since over here it is very small, I'm writing it within this HTML file itself. So I say load email from local storage, because we will be getting the subscriber email from the local storage, which is nothing, just a function. And in this function will get called from while we are doing window.onload. So when the page is loading, this function will get called. And inside this function, we will have const subscriber email, which is, I will just access this one over here. It is document.getElement by ID. And the email will come from local storage. In local storage, we will be storing it with the name of email. If it is not present, then we will just say undefined. And then subscriber email dot text content will be the email that we have fetched. So this is all in the JavaScript side. And now we will just style this page. So for the styling, what we will be using is that for the entire screen, I'll put margin to 0 pixel, padding to 0 pixel, the font family I will be setting up at the beginning over here to Roboto, and the box sizing will be border box. Okay, I have a compilation error here. The border box. This is the default one. And over here, if we see, we have this class success, we have this class check. So success is the one that is containing our entire thing. So over here, if I put it as confirm, then we can see now it is so slowly we will give it a shape. So I'll give it a padding of 1 rem and a margin top of 30%. After that, we have the checkbox. If we see in the design, this checkbox has a width and a height of 64 pixels. I'm just closing this, so we won't need it anymore. A width of 64 pixel and a height of 64 pixel as well. And then we have this header, which we call as success header. And over here, this is the style. So the font size is 40 pixel, font weight is 700. It's a line height of 40 pixel, and I have given it a margin bottom of 2 rem. After this, we have the success message class, and in the success message class, we will just see how it goes. It is again 400 pixel font weight, font size 16, line height 16. It's also 24 pixel. And then there's the subscriber email. As I have used it as an ID over here, So this ID, we just say it's a font that is bold. And then comes the button at the bottom. And for this button, to speed up this video, I'm just copy pasting the CSS, and I will explain it how it is in the design. So here also, if we see, it is 327 pixels, 56, the color, the background color over here, and the border radius of 1 rem, border none, color white, and font size is 16 pixels because we need to give it this one, dismiss message. It is 16 pixel and the color is white. So let's see how it looks over here now. Okay. We have added this, included this style sheet in our main HTML file, that is the confirm HTML, and now we are able to see it in this format. In between, I have just added one more file or one more class over here, that is the button position. This is to fix this dismiss message button at the bottom of the screen. So after this, we will now work on the desktop version of this particular screen, and where I will be using media query. And this is not only the desktop version, but will work equally for the tablet version as well. So I have been using 768 pixels for this one. So if we see in the design how it looks over here, I will just close this one. We can see that we have quite a background over here. And this message button is like this. So let's implement it. So first we will be adding a class over here in the body, which says the success container. And with this success container, we will be adding a style. Since this is a class, we will use the dot. And the style will be something like this, which has a background and a display flex, so that the content is at the center of the screen. Apart from that, this width and the height is a bit different, and for this we will be using this. We will be updating the success class. Whatever we had earlier, from there now we will be using the same as we mentioned in our Figma file. After this, the success header font size is also changing a bit as per the Figma, and this is font size for this one, that is the 56 pixel. And now the last two is the button. So for the button, over here we have this button, so we will be using this one. And now let's see how it looks. Yes, so here it is. So now we are done with this second file. So let us concentrate now on the main HTML file. So in the main HTML file, I have already added the font. For the styles, I will just remove the styles from here, and I will be using a separate style.css file. And there I will be putting it. And we need to include the style file over here as well. Relation is style sheet, and the href is style.css. So now next. So here we can see that we have this text.html file. This is the very raw HTML from the boiler code, and we will now just use it as per the design. So in our design, if we see, this is how the form looks. So here also we will use the same approach. We will first do the mobile design, and then we will start working on the desktop design. So for the design, what we will start is that we will be using this body, and there we will be having a container. And in the container, we will embed all the things. So first I will create a div with a container class. Inside the container class, I will add the image. Now we have two images in our starter code. One is for the mobile and one is for the desktop. So I have added both the images now. We will be showing any one of it based on the screen size. And the next, whatever we have over here is the content. So let us go to the mobile design first. So yes, here we are done now with the image, and then the rest of it we will be putting into a content. So in this content, we have a header message that says stay updated. Next, we have a message which says that join 60,000 plus products. And then we have an unordered list in which we have all the bullet points. So first I will just, for the sake of time, I will just copy this and we'll go line by line. So here we have created an LI option, that is a list option, which says options, which have a small check mark. The asset folder contains the icon for this one, and we have a text as well. So once we will start working on the CSS, this will get a bit of design over here. So after this, we have a form part over here since we will be submitting it. So I will be using a form for the submission. So inside this form, we have a form row because as we know that we have a validation over here. So I will be using a row for this email address and the validation message. So this is how it will be. So in a div, I have added. I will be using some class for the form to align and the ID for the form as well. So it's a class form, ID sign up form. And then we have this input field for the text for the email ID over here with input type email, and the placeholder is same as that is being given over here. And then we will be having a button. So this is what the entire form is. And apart from, so now I can just remove this code because we have already taken it into consideration. So let's see how it looks. As you see, we can see that now we have both the images, but as I mentioned with CSS, we will be removing all this and bring it a bit better look. So let's start with the CSS now. So in the CSS, first, as we did it for the other one as well, we will be putting some default values. That is the font family, the margin, the padding, everything will be the default one. After this, since we have this container, we will be using the overflow when we are using in a mobile. Then now, as you have seen that I have added two classes over here, that is image mobile and image desktop. During mobile, I will only show the mobile image, and in the desktop version, I will show only the desktop. So for that, currently what I will be doing is for the desktop, for the mobile version, the desktop will be none, and for the mobile, we will only see the mobile image with a width of 100%. So that way we can handle everything. I'm a bit worried why my formatter is not working. Okay, yeah. So now we have this content. For the content, I will be adding padding of 1. And over here, if we see, if I just refresh this page, so see, now we have only one image. And now the header, I will be adding some text design to the header, and it turns stay updated. The header design is the same as that is over here. If I expand the title, it is. Now for the message, I will be using this CSS, the one that we have over here. It's the same 16 pixel and the details are available in the Figma itself. Now we have a small checkbox, and that checkbox do need some styling, which is over here. It's a 21 cross 21 pixel and list style none, because or else we will get the bullet points. Then I have the option class, and finally the option text. The option text is this one. So all the designs comes from the typography being mentioned in the Figma, and the option is a combination of the check mark and this option text. So together it shows in a row. Next comes this form, and in the form I will be using a form class like display flex and the flex duration column, because over here everything should be from top to bottom. And as I mentioned, for the form row we have two things. One is the email address and the validation message. So those two will be displayed side by side. So that's why it's a flex direction row and justify content space between. Now this entire email text over here, this is actually the design for this email address text that is being mentioned over here. And then we will be having the email box. And this is over here. This is the box. And finally comes the button, which has the predefined design with a text of whatever the size is being mentioned over here. I have tried to follow it that way. Okay, now let's see how it looks. Yes, a bit better now, right? Now we can see that we have the valid email required as along with this one. So we just need to add some validation over here, and for that we will be using both JavaScript and the CSS class over there. So currently I will just add a few of the CSS class, and later I will explain it when we will be doing the validation. So this class will show error, will display the block with the color red and the font size 14 pixel. That is this text. No error displays nothing. So there shouldn't be any error. This valid email required shouldn't be displayed. And error is also this one. So here I will just add a background color. And the background color, I will try to take it from the design. Yes, here it is. But I don't see the color. This is the vermilion, I think, is the color. No, it is FF6155. Yes. So these three classes, depending on the JavaScript validation, will be added to the file. And for this, I will be adding now the script.js. And this file, first thing, we need to put it inside our HTML. And now let's do. So in the script.js file, we will first try to get the email input. So const email input is document dot get element by ID, and this is the email. And then the error message, it's document dot get element by ID error message. So here if we see from the HTML, so this is our email. So we are extracting the content from this input, and also in the error message is the one over here, that is valid email required. So I'm just closing the rest of the files as we won't need it. And then this is the entire form. We will be extracting the entire form with the sign up form ID that we have already mentioned over here. So now we will be using our email valid regex that will verify whether our email is a valid one or not. So this is the one I have collected from the Google. Now what are the things that we will be doing? So first thing is that I will just copy the code and then we will go line by line. So in the email input dot adding, I am adding an event listener of blur. That is when it will lose the focus. I will extract the email value and then I will check if that email is a valid one or not. If it is not a valid, I will show the error classes. And if it is valid, then I will remove the error classes if there is any. So first we will need to now write the method for both this show error classes and the remove error classes. So in the show error classes, in the error message, I will remove the no error. So what was actually no error? No error was the one which said display none. That means I need to now show an error. And I will add show error. And upon adding show error, I will show it with a display block, color, and the font size. And in the email input.classlist.add error. So over here, when it is an error, the email input box will have a border of this 1 pixel solid red and a light background color. And the same way, when I am removing these errors, what I will be doing, the one over here that I am removing the errors, I will just do the opposite. I will remove the show error class. Instead, I will add no error. The no error is the one that we have seen over here, display none. And then I will remove the error as well. So the box will no longer be having any border. Similarly, when I am, suppose the user has lost the focus, and now when the user is putting the correct email over there, I will be showing that if the class list contains the show error, it should remove. So when the user is typing an email ID, the user shouldn't be shown any type of error messages. And finally comes the form.submission event. So in this form.event listener submit, what I'm doing, I'm preventing by default, and then I'm extracting the email and one final check that whether the email is valid. If it is valid, then here I am setting the email as an email ID in the local storage. And here I am navigating to my confirm HTML page, which we have already created. So now let's see how it works. So here, as we can see, we are not having any error message. If I lose the focus, yes, I can see this color needs to be a bit lighter. I'll go with light red if it has any. I'll go with light salmon instead. But this is not the color which Figma has given. I'll try to extract it from the Figma. And once I start typing, I can see that once I start typing, the error message is gone. And here, when I click to subscribe, I can see that I am being navigated to the subscription page, successful confirm succession page. And here I can see my error, the email ID that I have been subscribed with. So now that we are done with the basic JavaScript in the mobile, all that we are left out is that we need to add the CSS for the desktop version as well. So here again, we will be using the same media query, which will start supporting the tablet versions as well. And then again, similar to what we have seen in the mobile, it has a background. So I will start with the main body. That is the background color, and this main body class I will be adding in our HTML. And next. So accordingly, we have to do just the reverse of what we have done in the image. So now image mobile will be none and image desktop will be visible. So here is what we need to add in the CSS. So now this is done. Then we will update the container class a bit based on whatever the design we have in Figma. So now the row has been reversed, the content has been centered, so in the width and the height, so whatever we have for this entire Figma design, the 928 cross 641 pixel, it is being added. Now the header will also have some alignments, that is the stay updated. So it is being updated to 56 pixel now. And then we have the form, and after the form we have the button. And now let's see. So this is the desktop mobile version, and this is the desktop version. And if I go to index.html, here we can see the desktop version as well. If I just remove it and I subscribe, so it says valid email required. It's no longer allowing me to subscribe. And if I go this and save, so this is how this entire application is working. I will be attaching the entire solution in the description below. Thank you all for watching. See you in another video.